Perfect. Good. So, harmonic scanner, right? So for any of you who would have been on my call last week, Wednesday, I think I only did that mainly for the Barbados team. We would have done some training on the harmonic scanner, right? And when I'm teaching the harmonic scanner, I look for a downtrend that I can identify, right? So what do I mean by that? When you log on to the harmonic scanner, right, you will see things that you cannot really identify, and therefore stay away from them, like this, right? You want to make sure that when you're entering a trade, it is something that looks healthy, right? Now, some persons will be able to trade this pattern, but as a beginner and those who are now getting their feet wet in the market, right? Can everyone let me know if they can hear me? Because I know Nicholas is here saying that he can't hear me. Can you let me know if you can hear me? Excellent. Good stuff. Lovely. Can someone just type in the chat and let Nicholas know how to connect to audio, right? If you could just do that for me, because he can't hear me, so I won't be able to talk to explain. So Melanie or one of the other leaders in this team, please just type directly to Nicholas and let him know how to connect to the audio. Perfect. Thanks a lot, Mel. Good. So the harmonic scanner, like I say, you want to find downtrends and uptrends that you can identify, right? Try not to go into every single trade that you see available on the harmonic scanner. Because if you can't identify a pattern, or if you can't familiarize yourself with a specific pattern, when it hits stop loss, you will never understand why it hit stop loss. So when you're doing your trading journal, because everybody should have a trading journal, right? So when you're doing your trading journal, your journal should document every single trade that you've been in. And next to that, it should have the pair, it should have your entry and exit, and how many pips you want off of that trade, right? Next to that, always have like a little reason why, right? So always put reason next to it. Because when you're actually, you know, going over past trades and you are doing some homework, as I would call it, right? You should be able to understand why it is you took this buy on GBP CAD and why it is you took this sell on USD Chef, right? So it's good to document. It helps you and it allows you to become a better trader, right? So I want that when you guys are actually looking for patterns, you look for things that look healthy, that you can identify, right? So advanced person might be able to trade this saying, okay, this is a double top, right? Intermediate to advanced may be able to recognize that this is a double top, and therefore they'll be able to trade this pattern, right? But beginners, I want you to start to look for clear uptrends and downtrends, right? As you get more advanced and you're able to look at different patterns and you can follow trading and follow the charts, then you can add to your patterns. You can add different things that you may like, double tops, double bottoms, head and shoulder patterns, and so on and so forth. There are tons of them. But right now, the key is to simplify your trading. If you are not looking for ways to simplify your trading, then you're not going to become profitable in the market, right? If you want to be profitable in this market, you have to simplify your trading. So simplifying your trading will mean that you probably may not get, you know, 5 clear downtrends or 5 clear uptrends per week. You may get 1, 2, 3 maybe, right? Sometimes you may even get 4, 5, 6, right? But we are looking for quality setups. So quality setups like this, for me, this is a quality setup. Can everybody recognize that from the C to the D, we have a clear downtrend? If you can recognize this, please type in the chat box 111. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Good. So, as I said, as a beginner, when you're starting off training, and you're starting off trading, sorry, you would, in your academy, learn about uptrends and downtrends. Uptrends being higher highs and higher lows, and downtrends being lower highs and lower lows, right? If you don't understand what highs and lows are, then I usually refer to it as higher mountain tops and higher valleys, and lower mountain tops and lower valleys, right? So now we want to look at entering this trade. So based on last week's training, for those who were there, what we really need, first of all, is a trend line. What does a trend line do? A trend line helps you to confirm your trend, right? What does this mean to you and how does it benefit you? When the trade breaks your trend line, it means that the trend is about to change. So if we're in a downtrend, right, and we draw a trend line identifying our downtrend, and we get a break of that trend line, it suggests that we are now about to change the trend and go into an uptrend. If you understand that, just type yes in the chat box. Excellent. So I'm sharing a lot of nuggets and I want you guys to write them down, right? Now, I would suggest to you who are beginners, intermediate if you do not know this, and advanced if you have not been aware of this, try to start your trading from Tuesday, right? Allow the market to set up on Mondays, because the market uses Monday, and by Monday I mean from 5 p.m. Sunday up until 5 p.m. Monday, right? The market uses that time to set up for the week. And a lot of persons try to trade in between this time and they lose a lot of money, not understanding that the market is actually trying to set up for the week, right? So you need to allow the market to set up so that you can identify the patterns and the pairs that look favorable to you for the rest of the week. So your trading days should literally be Tuesday to Thursday. At the close of Thursday, 5 p.m., you shouldn't really be trading anymore. Some persons try to trade on a Friday, but I am going to tell you this. If you're not in the trade that you want by 7 a.m. Friday morning, forget trading on a Friday. The market is slowing down. It's about to close. The last thing you want to do is trade on a Friday, right? So what are we doing? What are the notes that we're making? We're going to allow the market to set up on a Monday, right? And cash out by Thursday 5 p.m. Thursday 5 p.m. you all should be going and enjoy a 4-day weekend, because then you would have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday off before you start trading again. So every single week, you guys should have a 4-day weekend. You work Tuesday to Thursday, and then from Friday to Monday, you're off. Is that clear? Just type yes if it's clear. Nicholas is still having problems. Good. Good. So let's start. So what we're going to do now is that we're going to identify the trend. So using a trend line here on the left hand side, the slanted line that you see, I usually tend to put it at the highest mountain top, but which is a C. But what happens is that sometimes if you have a mountain top that is protruding outside of the remaining of the trend, you can start from there, right? So if you start from the C now, you will notice that your mountain top will stop you because you can't go into the candles. We don't want you to go into the candles, right? I mean, you can use this. You can use this. Nothing is wrong with this because I usually advise persons to draw a trend line from the C to the D, right? Bearing in mind that you're not supposed to go through any candles. So you guys can actually use this. I was suggesting that if you want a tighter entry, you can come from this mountain top and bring it here. So either one is okay. So you can do this one or you can do this one, your preference, right? So that means you don't need to come back to me and say, coach, but this one at the bottom, right? This one is higher than this one, and which one do I choose, etc. Both is fine, right? Both is okay. So you can use the one that's protruding, or you can start from the C and come down to the D. Just bear in mind, do not go through the bodies of the candle. So I'm going to use this one, right? Now, we were talking about using the MACD, so you just delete the RSI, and we're going to use the MACD. Right? So what are we looking for as our confirmation for this trade? As a confirmation, we want to get a solid break of the candlestick. We want a solid body candle break our trend line. And what does this do? This takes us out of this downtrend, and now we will start a trend to the upside. So this is exactly what we're looking for here, right? Along with this, we want the MACD lines to cross the zero line. So where can you find the zero line? Just click on the horizontal line. So click the arrow next to trend line, click horizontal line, right? You can put it anywhere on the MACD, it doesn't matter, right? Let me just make the line bigger and let me put it as black. You can put it anywhere on the MACD, it doesn't matter. But come to the settings tab here, right? Go to coordinates and change it to 0.00. It doesn't matter how many zeros you want to put there, and it should really move. Hang on. It should move. Ordinarily on the trading view it moves, but on the harmonic scanner it doesn't seem to be moving. So in that case, just drag it to 0.000. Right? So once you see the 0.000, you know that's the zero line. What you want to see are these two lines, this blue line coming up here, right? And this red line coming up here. So you want to see both of them crossing that zero line. And that is your signal to get into the trade. So if we enter this trade here, right? where it breaks the trend line right here, you can see that we would already be at take profit 1. So you will not use take profit 1 as your take profit because we have broken the trend here around take profit 1. So your take profit point now would become take profit 2. Right? So if you're entering the trade here, which is around take profit 1, as you can clearly see, you will use take profit 2 as your take profit. So when you're trading the harmonic scanner, the key is not to just get in where it says entry and come out where it says take profit. If you do your analysis, you will have a better win rate with the harmonic scanner. And that's what I'm trying to encourage for you guys, right? I want you guys to have a good win rate with the harmonic scanner. No, the breaks do not have to be at the same point, right? So you may find that the candle may break first before the MACD lines, or the MACD lines may break first before the candle. But this is another note that I want you to put in your notepads, right? So the MACD represents the current trend, right? The MACD represents the current trend. So when the MACD lines cross the 0 line and come under, it signals that we are now in a downtrend. When the MACD lines cross the 0 line and go above, it signals that we are now in an uptrend. So I want you guys to just make note of that so that you can understand the use of the MACD indicator, right? So like I said, I'm going to repeat myself again. When the MACD crosses the 0 line and goes under, it signals that we're in a downtrend. So let's look at this. If we look here, where the MACD lines cross, this is telling me that we are now going into a downtrend. It confirms that we are going into a downtrend, right? Because before, all along, we were in an uptrend. And this could have been another valley being created before we pushed higher. But the MACD actually confirmed that we're not going to push higher. We're now starting the downtrend. So it's at this point that when the MACD lines cross, you can see how the trade literally went lower and lower and lower, right? And the same thing for, let's look here, see. When did this uptrend start? This uptrend started here, right? So this is where this uptrend started, right? Because all before here, it was coming down into a downtrend, right? So this is where this uptrend started right here, just to give you guys an example. And the MACD lines confirm that we're definitely going into an uptrend around here. And from here, you can see how the trade literally started to creep its way up, right? Until we got to this high. So does everybody understand the MACD? If so, type yes. It's very simple, very clear. We're using the MACD as confirmation of our trend, right? When the MACD lines cross and go above the 0 line, it confirms that we're going into an uptrend. When the MACD lines cross and go below the 0 line, it confirms that we're going into a downtrend. Is that clear? Jade, it needs to be clear. You can't think when you can't think so. You need to be certain. All right? You need to be sure. So I'm hoping that I'm clear there. This is not complicated. It may look different, but it's not complicated. If you make the notes that I would have said just now and you look at it clearly, it would make total sense, right? So if you can't find the zero line, let me help you. So let's do the zero line again. So this is what it looks like over here. You're going to come to your trend line and the arrow next to the trend line, you're going to click horizontal line, right? And bring your cursor down to where you see on the right hand side. Just look to the right and you see that when it go up, you can see 0.0010. You're going to bring that down until everything is zeros right here. That's your zero line. That is your zero line. All right, so I want you guys to make that note, please. Make that note. I'll give you a, you only enter the trade when the solid vertical line on the harmonic scanner. No, I just did the vertical lines to show you guys where the trade would have confirmed that it went into a downtrend, right? So this was just to show you where we were talking about. So you can see here, when we align, okay, when we align this candle, which is where the vertical line is, there's a candlestick there, to here, where the lines cross, what happened next? If we were getting into this cell, right? If we were getting into a cell, let's do it here. Let me help you guys. If we were getting into a cell, and we drew this trend line, right? This is just for an example. So you can see how we were in an uptrend here. I've identified an uptrend here on my trend line. And we wanted to get into a cell, right? You will not get into this cell until first you have a solid break, right, of the trend line with a candle. So it will be that small candle there is a solid body candle that broke the trend line, right? And shortly after, one candle after, is when both MACD lines cross. So as soon as you get your MACD lines crossing, it's a go. It means, aha, now I have my confirmation for myself, because my first confirmation was a candle breaking. My second confirmation, which came one candle later in this case, is the two MACD lines crossing the zero line. So now that I have both confirmations, I can get into my trade for myself. Is this clear? Is this clear? Perfect. Perfect, 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 perfect. Good. So same thing works now that the harmonic scanner has called for the buy, right? We want this to break. It may not, the lines may not cross as soon as we get the first break. It may be two candles later that you get the MACD lines cross. But my message is clear. You need to wait for the MACD lines to cross before you enter the trade. So now this is a downtrend. So now we're looking for the trade to go into an uptrend, right? So pressing on, as you can see, this entry is by take profit 1. So like I said, you wouldn't use take profit 1 as your take profit point. You would then use take profit 2 as your take profit point, right? So if you were entering this trade, let's say that it had already broken your trend line and the MACD lines had already crossed, you would market execute a buy right here, and your take profit would be 1.6499, which is take profit 2. Right? Now, I just want to quickly touch on stop losses so that I can close off harmonic scanner training and go on to levels training, right? Where do you place your stop loss? I want everybody to pay close attention because I am not going to use the harmonic scanner stop loss. Right? Good. So, where would you place your stop loss? Now, if you're entering the trade here, right, your last low is where your stop loss will be. So in this case, your last low would be around here, which is around the same areas here, right? So just give it a little space. Don't put it exact. And you can put your low here. This will be your stop loss. So you've basically given it a little room away from this is your last low right here before the market goes up. This is your last low. You will be using here as your stop loss, right? If you want to be on the safe side as well and you don't understand the meaning of last lows, then you can use the entry here as your stop loss, because that is also a low, because you can see that this low, this previous low is around the entry, right? So you can use here for your stop loss. So what do I mean by that? Let's look at the example where we were looking for that cell earlier, right? So we were looking at this cell here, right here, right? Explaining stop losses. If I was getting into this trade for my cell, we had the confirmation of the solid body candle breaking and the 2 MACD lines crossing. My stop loss will be at my last high. My last high is here. This is the last mountain top before we broke the trend line. So I'm going to give it just a little room because I don't want to put it exact. I'm going to give it just a little room. You can determine that room, right? And that is where my stop loss will be. And once you place that here and you look to the right, you will see it highlighted in red. Whatever color code you put it in, it will be highlighted here. So your stop loss in this case will be 1.66045, right? And then you will mark it, execute the sell here, and you can go to the next take profit here, right? So this is if this is a sell example, if we were selling the trade. Am I making sense? Yes, this video will be posted on YouTube. Am I making sense? Who does not understand, please say me in the chat box. Who does not understand the stop losses, please say me. All right. Can everybody hear me clearly? I just want to make sure. Yeah, good. So let's do this again. All right. I'm gonna do this one last time. Let's say that we were looking for this sell. We've identified the uptrend here, and we're selling on 2 confirmations. The confirmation, you should be saying it here now with me. Right. So, sorry about that. So, if we're looking for a sell, right? We've identified the uptrend, right? We've identified the uptrend, and we got a solid break of the candle here, right? Our MACD lines also cross, so we know that the sell, that we have our confirmations to sell the trade. So we will mark it execute, right? For the sell. Good. Where do we place our stop loss? We're placing our stop loss, in this case, at the last mountain top. The last mountain top is here. This is your mountain top, right? This is your last mountain top here. So the most recent mountain top, right, is where you're going to place your stop loss, but just a little above it. So you're going to give it room, right? So I'm going to, instead of putting it right here, I'm going to give it a little room and place my stop loss here. So I entered the trade here. That's where I entered the trade. My stop loss is here. And my take profit is the next take profit on the harmonic scanner. I'm gonna let you guys take a screenshot of this now. All right. One second. I'm gonna let you guys take a. Right. So I'm gonna give you the notes. Oh, there. There we go. I'm gonna give you the notes. Stop loss above last high. Can you go ahead now and take a screenshot of that? Take a picture of your phone so you understand, right? Good. So now, going over here, we're looking for this buy, right? Remember, we're looking for this buy now. So with this buy that we're looking for, right now, this is our last low that is being formed before the trade goes up. If you can't recognize this low, that's fine. Use the low that you can recognize. So in this case, if you could recognize this low here, then use this as your low. So give the stop loss a little room from there, and that's where I place my stop loss, right here. My entry is there, right? But if you can recognize this low, use this low. You're not using the harmonic scanner stop loss. This helps you. So we will be entering the trade here, right? I'm gonna place the notes so that you can have it. There we go. All right, let me change it the other way. Let's put that there, right? Good. Take a screenshot of that, or actually let me put here as well. Does this help? What I've placed there, does it help? Good. So just take a picture or whatever, screenshot of this. I'm also gonna take something as well. I'm gonna save as image so I can send it to you guys. Great. All right. So I hope this is understood. And this ends the harmonic scanner training. So let me just stop recording now.